Welcome, welcome to Freaked Out with your psychic medium host, Liz. How are you guys doing today? I know me, I've had quite a busy day, and yeah, it took me hours to get to this point of recording, but that's okay. We're here now. I'm excited. We actually have a really busy week when it comes to the schedule. We got Diddy stuff going on this week and Menendez Brothers. Now, I've already started doing Diddy stuff on TikTok, and maybe if I have more information, we'll come here later. But for the meantime, the Menendez Brothers resentencing is happening on the 8th of this week, May 8th. So we got to get into it right now so that you guys are prepared. Oh, and I also wanted to let you know that this week, end of week, we will be dropping the second part of Who's in the Illuminati under the exclusive members only content. So make sure to become a member so you can access all of the exclusive content and also the episode coming later on this week. As always, we are going to cover the details of the case in case you guys don't know or don't know updates, whatever the case may be, a brief description coming now. For those of you who do not know, who are the Menendez brothers? Lyle and Eric Menendez are both American brothers convicted of unaliving their parents. And their parents' name is Jose and Kitty Menendez. And they were unalived in their Beverly Hills home. Now, initially, these guys claimed that there was an intruder and that this intruder was responsible for their deaths. But later on, they did admit to killing their parents, suggesting that they were acting in self-defense after enduring years and years and years of abuse, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse from their father. Now, when it comes to the first trial, they were actually tried separately, but also at the same time. Their defense produced evidence based on the abuse. The jurors were pretty much deadlock on the results. This resulted in a mistrial. Now, the second trial, the brothers were done together in one single jury. The judge did limit the accessibility to certain pieces of proof. Both were convicted on first-degree murder, and they were actually sentenced to life in prison. There was no possibility of parole, which was a pretty hefty, in my opinion, charge. Now, in recent years, new evidence has emerged and people have been called for resentencing. Now, Eric's letter, a letter that was written by Eric to his cousin, detailed alleged abuse that his father had been involved in. And then also there was a former Menudo band member, Roy Rosello, who had also accused Jose of sexual abuse. These revolutions were pretty significant and was brought to help reconsider their resentencing. I'll tell you, the DA was not having it. The DA didn't want to even look at this, feeling as though the Menendez brothers did not fully accept responsibility. And I mean, we could also argue that they weren't given the full scope of what in fact happened. They're not taking full accountability because their parents were also extremely abusive towards them. Now, this is kind of cool. On April 11th this year, my birthday, the judge ruled in favor of Eric and Lyle, which overturned the DA's recommendation. So now we've come to the conclusion where we're having a hearing to determine if their sentence should be revised. Last birthday of mine, OJ died. This year, I took it as a good thing. The number one question, though, that people have been asking me over and over again is if they will be getting out this week. And unfortunately, no, that won't happen. Why? Because they are just going to be seeing if they could be approved for parole or not. And I believe that they will get approved for parole. And I also believe that they will end up getting out on parole. But I also feel like that's going to take a good while to get all of that sorted out as well. I have been feeling that the Menendez brothers were getting out from months ago, even last year, beginning of last year, but I've been feeling this for quite some time now. So even if they don't get out this time, they may get out some other time, but something's going to happen. But I really, really believe it's going to be this time. But there's also another reason that I avoided doing this case, because I feel like people are being unfair. I feel as though people are treating Gypsy Rose as this evil creature And then also looking at the boys, the Menendez brothers, and putting them in completely different categories when, in my opinion, she deserved as much as they deserve. I feel like, yes, everyone feels like she got off and blah, 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 blah. But I feel like she did her time. They made the decision. And I feel like these men were given a terrible sentence and should be able to get out of jail now. But I also believe that it's okay for Gypsy to be out too. I feel like they both deserve to be out. And the thing that drives me crazy is I feel like the reason that Gypsy gets so much hate and so much bullshit put out online, because people are literally like making fake documents just to prove their point, suggesting these are legit documents surrounding Gypsy. I feel like if she wasn't a woman, if she was a guy, they wouldn't treat her like this. That's just how I feel on it. She also was not the one who unalived her mom. Manipulation for hire, as people like to put it. And I'm not saying anything against the guys, and I know everyone's going to get their panties in a twist about this. I believe that they definitely deserve to get out, but I also feel like they deserve, and Gypsy deserves, the same courtesy as these guys do. All right, now we're going to answer all of your questions you guys have asked me here today. So first question, what motivated the Menendez brothers to kill their parents? From what I can see, the two of them together felt like if they were able to get out of their parents' thumb with their money, that they would be able to have a happy life, that they were abusive, traumatizing, they treated them awful. Like there's a lot involved. It wasn't just one thing, but what I see drove them to physically do it this time, this date, which was, by the way, very much premeditated. The parents were on their way to like cut them off financially and let them be responsible for themselves. I know that there's the abuse behind it. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but I genuinely think this is what pushed them over the edge, being freaked out that they weren't going to be able to financially secure their own lives and be cut off completely and live on the streets of LA. They were not ready for that. What specific moment led them there? I see that Lyle and his father got into a pretty significant fight, which was basically like dad saying, you need to get on your 2 feet. You're a man. You need to get your shit together. I'm not taking care of you. We're cutting you off financially. And I believe that's what pushed him to get to the point of speaking to Eric, saying we have to do this. This has always been a plan in the background. They always talked about it in passing. Like, one day we're going to kill those fuckers for hurting us. Like, I feel like the two of them would just vent to each other constantly and be like, don't worry, we got each other. We don't need them, in those very abusive moments. And this particular thing they were afraid of more than anything was to lose the ability to take care of themselves, and it freaked them out. Now, did the Menendez brothers really suffer from abuse? Or was this a calculated excuse? I'll be honest, I feel like they both suffered from abuse. Although we spend a lot more time talking about the physical, sexual abuse that Eric went through, I also believe that Lyle also had his own sexual abuse as well from his father. I see, though, that when it came to Lyle, when it comes to predators, they know who to push. They know which victims they are going to continue to keep going and doing this. Because the biggest issue, and the reason why pedophiles have such a hard time choosing their victims, is because they watch people, they watch kids, and they see what they can get away with and what they can't. And because Lyle was very outspoken and Eric was very quiet, that is why Eric got the bulk of the molestation and the sexual abuse. Whereas Lyle had a big mouth, and I see the abuse ended before he was old enough to share. There are definitely blocked moments between the two of them, both of them, that have blocked out moments, and they don't really want to open those wounds again and talk about them or even deal with it. But yes, I see that they were both sexually and physically abused by both of their parents. I do also believe that the mother was extremely inappropriate with her sons, and I do see that she also molested both of them, if not at the same time at some point too. I feel like because she wasn't getting any attention for because she wasn't getting any attention from her husband, she kind of turned to those boys in those moments. And I also believe that Kitty definitely witnessed not only some of the sexual abuse, but I see that she witnessed many things. And I also feel like there were moments where both of them were okay with sexually abusing these kids. Like, it's just, that household was pretty effed up. I also feel like these kids had to do things to each other as well. Like, it's bad, and I feel for them, and I understand why their brain went to that direction. Another question people ask all the time is, why didn't they go to the police and seek help? And this is a good question, because Landon has, we don't talk about it here, because it's his own personal experience, but Landon has gone through some serious shit in his life, very similar to the Menendez brothers, and he didn't kill anyone. So he thinks if he can not kill people, then people don't need to go in that direction. Even if your home is not a safe place to share those details with, there are many other outlets. You just got to find them. And I feel like there's a lot of like organizations out there that do actually help with this. So if you ever run into a situation like this, report it, even if you got to do it 50 times over. If your home is not listening, please do so, because we got to stop somewhere. Anyways, back to the question, why didn't they go to the police? If they went to the police would be like, okay, you're old enough to get out of the house. Like, they felt like they would have been embarrassed to tell the police. They felt like the police wouldn't, believe them. People didn't speak about it as much as they speak about it now. But basically, the laughingstock. They didn't want to be a laughingstock, and also financially driven as well. Both factors. Was the motive money or survival? I think it was both. I think it was money motivated and survival. They also had a very immature brain, because the money would eventually run out. They were spending large quantities of money here, there, and everywhere, but the way they were spending, they would have run out one way or another. So both were motives. Do they regret their decision? I would say so. I see that they replay these moments in their head often, and I can see that both of them have the same vision of telling their mom to screw off and punching their father in the face and then walking out and never looking back and then starting their lives. They really, really wish they had gone in that direction. So what is their relationship like today? I feel like they are still very bonded to each other. They might have very inappropriate ways of handling certain things with each other, because I feel like they just codependent on each other significantly. Not so much now. They have their own space now, but yeah, I feel like they get along very well. They both are lying to themselves when it comes to the relationships they're in and who they surround themselves with. But I feel like they're going to genuinely be able to figure themselves out once they get out of jail. What does the Menendez brothers case say about how we treat male victims? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I believe if this case was the exact same with two women stepping forward saying that their father physically abused them, I feel like they could have gotten away with it. But because it was two men, I feel like that was a huge reason why they gave them such a hefty fine. I feel like they just don't want to be called wrong, which is why the DA is pushing so hard, because they don't like doing that. They don't like going backwards. They feel like these men don't deserve that rehabilitation. How will they handle being out of prison? I believe they will handle it well. I feel like they've already got a contract potentially with Lifetime, maybe even another contract. I see them doing like a podcast, a simultaneous book. They might have their own experiences in two different books. I see them having a lot of possible financial outcomes to help them out financially, which would be great through their probation. And I see them trying to really work hard. it'll be interesting. It'll be like, one of those experiences. We'll get to see them doing their first everything. I mean, I don't even think they've really experienced all cell phones or streaming or whatever the case may be. There are so many things that will be so incredibly unusual for them, and we're going to be there watching every step of the way as they merge through life together, trying to figure out the next steps. But I do feel like they would not hurt or harm anyone. The whole point of being in prison, in my opinion, serial killers are what belong behind bars, not people who have, made one mistake or two mistakes. And I'm not referencing killing people. I feel like there should be some room for rehabilitation. Otherwise, what is the point? I feel like not only will they get out, half of us will still love them. The other half may turn on them a little bit, because there will be some questionable decisions they make. But then again, we have to remember they are starting from the very beginning. And we are all at an advantage point where we've been in this world for so long. They have not. There will be haters. There will be lovers. There will be people that do things. I also see them getting together with Gypsy Rose and having a chit chat with her at some point, which might make people very mad. But I see something along those lines happening too. Now, I don't know why, but I keep feeling like there's going to be some issues when it comes to the two of them being together. So they'll be with their partners initially, but they might not be able to have like contact or be able to see each other. I don't know all of what I'm feeling. It might not even be legally speaking. It could just be distance as to where their partners live. But I do see them being separated for quite some time. And then I see them, once something changes, whether they're allowed to leave certain states on parole, this, that, and the other, I also see that they'll be able to kind of come together and figure something out too. So I think that's also going to be something really special when it does take place. From what I can see, the alignment is for them to get out, and I feel like it's going to happen. I also believe that Eric will actually accept who he is and who he's been. And I see him finding a partner, a male, and I see that this person will be a little bit younger than him. But there will be just like a vibe between the two of them. Lyle as well will end up getting involved with another partnership. Just something about this. Unfortunately, prison relationships don't often work out, but I feel like there's reasons behind it. Some scandal may take place. I'm not exactly sure, but they will definitely have their own fights with judgment and where they live, but people will also treat them as local celebrities as well. They will be the new hot topic, but I feel like they will do what they need to do to make sure that they stay clean. I even feel like that one of them may even have a kid. I feel like a kid will be coming into their lives, so that will be pretty cool too. I do believe that the Menendez brothers will have the opportunity to act as an advocate for men that have been abused sexually. And I see that being an opportunity for them probably a few years after they've been out. And I do feel like they're going to tell their story from a different perspective as well. So right now we see certain things that are happening. We know the story pretty well, but there's more to it. And I feel like they're going to share all of that too, including all of their experiences in prison. Will they be successful when they get out of prison? Absolutely. Not only will they be successful, but I feel like they will have like the kitchen sink thrown at them when it comes to the restrictions. And I feel like they will do it all. I feel like they will be kids again, and it'll just be an exciting experience. I do feel like one of them is having some health complications right now, but I don't feel like it's concerning or severe, but something will change there. But yeah, that is my episode on the Menendez brothers today. If you guys have any more questions on this case, please feel free to drop that in the comment section. I definitely want to do a follow-up on this episode eventually once all of this has transpired, and we can talk about what I see even further in depth about what's to come in their future. But that is everything for today. I hope you guys have a great evening, and don't forget to stay freaked out.